Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. This guy is coming off, I don't know, call it the game of his life, but he's still a young guy, so he probably has more huge games coming up in the very near future. It's Dane Weber, the quarterback for your Chaparral Pumas. Dane, listen, man, when you just break it down by the numbers, like almost 500 yards of total offense, was it 6 touchdowns? I think 5 through the air, 1 on the ground. Is all that sound about correct?
I threw it was 6 through the air and I ran 1, so total on 7. But,
See, that's why I asked you, because I was selling you short. But man, what was going right in that game? Because you played an Apple Valley team that's usually pretty good. I mean, so it's not like you played some team we've never heard of. That was a big win for you guys, and you put up huge numbers. So what was going right for you guys in that game offensively?
I mean, it comes down to, it just starts with the coaches, game planning for us, and it all starts with the offensive line. Without them, we couldn't do anything, obviously. And then just trusting my guys to make plays whenever I threw it to them, receivers, running backs, everybody. They just all trusted each other and made plays when we needed to. And it just ended up with a W in the end.
Man, I don't know what Raymer is doing down there, how he feeds those O-line guys, because Chaparral's always cranking out these awesome offensive linemen. What's it like knowing that, you're going to be protected up front, you're going to have time to throw the football, you're going to have, room to run if you need to do that too? What's it like having an offensive line in front of you like that?
I mean, it's amazing. Every day, every practice, I just feel like those guys have my back 24/7. And, as a quarterback, that's an amazing feeling because it's one less thing to worry about, if that makes sense. With everything, you got to look at the defense and everything. But knowing that I have those guys and those type of guys in front of me, it makes everything so much easier.
Now, Dane, obviously last year, Dash was a great quarterback for Chaparral.
Yeah.
Going into this season, did you feel like, there's pressure? I got to live up to, kind of the numbers that he was putting up. Like, what was kind of your goal coming in? Because, guys, if you're watching this interview right now, dude, Dane's putting up crazy numbers, and he's only a sophomore. Like, this is nuts. So what was your expectation for yourself going into this season, knowing that, you had big shoes to fill, but you had a great team around you?
I mean, ultimately, I knew Dash he was great when he was here, but I know he left. So then ultimately it was down to me, and I just had to prepare in every way I can, mentally, physically, and the rest will just come down to just me playing football. That's all it really is, just me having fun, trusting my guys, let the guys on the team trust me, the coaches trust me, and everything else will just take care of itself.
Have you even maybe surprised yourself a little bit, or with these numbers and these wins? Are you like, oh no, this is this is what we were setting out to do?
I mean, it's always great to have those numbers and those wins, but ultimately, I know that as long as I have fun, I just trust myself. I can do those things night in and night out, and as long as we trust each other, coaches trust each other, everything will go great.
Well, you guys are on a bye week right now, correct?
Yeah, we are. We're on a bye week.
So. Bye week. What's the most you can get out of a bye week, at least for you and maybe the offense? I don't know if some guys are banged up or there's some stuff that you want to work on, and you've got an extra week of preparation. How do you utilize the bye week so you get the most out of it?
I mean, for the people who are banged up, it's a rest week to ice and heal and take care of your bodies and make sure you're 100%. But also we still have mistakes that we got to clean up mentally and throughout the game plan and stuff that we see on film. So we take the bye week to clean up those mistakes and fix those things so that when we do get past the bye week, it's a machine and we can just keep it rolling and without a stop.
Dane, listen, I know you're a young guy, but how long have you been playing quarterback? Have you always been a quarterback?
Yes, sir. I've been playing since I started playing flag when I was 5 and then tackle when I was 8. And I was just the only kid who could really hold the ball and throw it as far as I could. So, I just stuck with it.
What do you think you enjoy the most about the position?
I mean, I love the control over it. I like to be able to control the situation. And I love being able to lead by example with my teammates because they all look up to me when they're looking for an answer, whether that's a play or just an everyday thing. I love being able to do that and have trust in my teammates, and they trust me with their full ability.
So your game against Apple Valley, 7 total touchdowns. You passed for well over 300. You ran for over 100. It was close to 500 yards of offense. Just you. Was that your best game so far in your young career, would you say?
I mean, so far, yeah, but I could say hopefully that I have better games down the road. I know that may be a big thing to say, but I know I personally could do it, and I know that with everybody trusting each other, game plan right game, it could totally happen.
Do you feel like through the first 2 games of the season, this team kind of, I don't know, maybe built some confidence around you? Like you were able to go out. They probably knew you were a talented guy, but to go out there and actually do it, win a couple games, do you feel like the confidence, maybe some momentum now going into the rest of the season?
I mean, I always personally felt like, and all the captains on the team, like all the offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, coaches, they all reassured me they had confidence in me. And that was always a great thing to feel because, first couple games, there's always that, not sure type of feeling. But, it was always seeing how everybody reacted after the first 2 wins was a great thing to see as well.
So, Dane, obviously we know the Big West is tough, man. There's so many good teams there. So what's the goals for the Chaparral team for the rest of the season as you look at league play and even beyond? I'm assuming you guys are going to be a playoff team. What's the goals for CIF?
The ultimate goal is to win a CIF championship. I feel like that's the goal for every single year, but especially this year, I feel like we got a really strong group of guys, and I feel like we could really make a push this year and go all the way.
All right, if I was going to ask you, describe the way you play quarterback. I know people would say like dual threat, right? A quarterback that can run it, that can throw it, that can do everything. How would you kind of describe the way that you play quarterback?
I mean, I would describe it as like, I guess a dual threat is the way you could describe it, but just as like, I try to control the game and make it our game in any sort of way that I possibly can. Because the more the offense controls the game, whether that's time management or even play calling or even the score, when you score a bunch of points, obviously that helps. But just making it us control the game in a way where we can control what we do. We're controlling what the defense does. And I try to play my best part into that to help us ultimately win in the end.
You know what? That's a great point because I think I was just talking to a coach and their opponent was a high-scoring team, and they're like, you know what we need from our offense? We need like drives that are going to last like 10 minutes long, and just eat up that clock. Like, so I think that's what you're talking about, right? Like, what's the game plan for my team? Like, do we need to keep the other team's offense off the field? So that was a great answer, Dane. Let me ask you: is there a current NFL or maybe former NFL quarterback that if you maybe some guy you look up to, or maybe you're like, my game kind of looks like what he does? I mean, is there a guy out there like that?
I would say personally, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Josh Allen for the Bills right now. I feel like, we're both bigger guys in a way, and we also run the ball pretty much in the same kind of style and arm strength and all that. I feel like it almost resembles itself a little bit.
Now, I haven't seen all your highlights, but are you a slide at first guy, or you're like, okay, I'll take one hit on my way out, trying to get out of bounds or something?
I was talking to the coaches, and I still got to learn how to slide. That's definitely a weak point. I need to learn how to do that. But yeah.
All right, Dane, you kind of touched on it, but areas that you'd like to see cleaned up. Obviously, things have been going well for you guys. You're 2-0. You're putting up crazy numbers. But are there certain areas, maybe specifically with you or on offense, that you feel like, man, as good as we've been, the best is still to come? There's some areas that we can clean up.
I feel like we could clean up me personally at the line. I feel like if I see something, I need to get better at checking to that or changing whatever it may be and just trusting and going along with that. And as well as just a team, more energy in the beginning, starting off faster and all that. And that will all come with time and with games and experience, but we'll clean that up and it'll fly right by.
All right, Dane, listen, really appreciate the conversation. Enjoy the bye week. Rest up. I don't know if you're maybe going to go scout and watch somebody play on Friday night, but enjoy the bye week, man. And congrats on all the early season success already, man. Great year so far.
Appreciate it.
You got it. That's Dane Weber, the quarterback for your Chaparral Pumas here on the Inland Sports Show.